Yeah, I'll mention it afterwards.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Last Talk Radio.
Hey, it's Taylor Phillips alongside Ed Smith. Welcome to Taylor's Detroit Sports Show. You can call in at 646-478-4837. That is 646-478-4837. Name, city, and state. Keep your content clean and stay on the line until we get to you. How's it going, Ed?
Doing fine, Taylor. How about yourself?
Pretty good. Tigers get the 4-1 win to salvage the finale of the 3-game series at U.S. Cellular Field in Chicago over the White Sox. Kyle Lobstein, of all pitchers, goes 7 2/3, only gives up 1 unearned run on just 3 hits and gets a much deserved win. And improves to 3-2. Joakim Soria strikes out all 4 batters he faces and gets the save. He's 11 out of 11. Jose Quintana falls to 1-3 with today's loss. The only White Sox run came on a weird Ian Kinsler throwing error. That was in the 5th inning. Let me see here. No, the bottom of the 4th. Let's see here. Bottom 4.
Yeah, it was the 4th.
Yep. Melky Cabrera led off, and Ian Kinsler made a horrible throw, obviously, toward first base, and Melky Cabrera stayed at first somehow. He turned and then went back to first, and it proved costly because Jose Abreu moved him to third, and Avisail Garcia, the former Tiger, drove him home with back-to-back singles, and that tied the game at 1. Miguel Cabrera was batting, and in the first inning, he got hit by the pitch, and then two batters later, Jonas Cespedes drew a walk and a wild, and right when he walked on a wild pitch that scored Miguel Cabrera, and Robin Ventura came out and the catcher were arguing with the home plate umpire. There was no reason for that. The rule is the rule. It was a walk and a wild pitch that scored the run. Plain and simple. That.
Ball 4. Every right to take that base because it's ball 4, no matter what. No matter what, it's ball 4. It's a wild pitch, not ball 4 is ball 4.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, a wild pitch, a run, and a walk can all count at the same time.
Exactly. I don't know what he was talking about there. Just waste of time.
Yep, the Tigers retook the lead, broke the 1-1 tie with an RBI ground out by Miguel Cabrera. That made it 2-1. It would stay that way until the 8th inning when Victor Martinez hit an RBI single and Nick Castellanos hit an RBI single. Both RBI singles reloaded the bases. The Tigers took a 4-1 lead. and that's the way it would stand. Kyle Obstein would give up a third hit in the bottom of the 8th inning and would get the hook. And Brad Ausmus decided to, why not? Just go to Joaquim. I'll just go to Joaquim Soria nonetheless. I know he'll get it done. And guess what? Joaquim Soria.
The rest of the bullpen has been garbage. So the one guy has been truly dependable all year. They're closer, and Soria got the job done.
Yep, struck out all 4 batters he faced. Lobstein, correction, gave up 5 hits. He struck out 3, walked 2.
3 strikeouts.
Yep, 3. Yep.
Still, as far as ERA, down to 3.
Down to 3 flat.
No, still more earned runs. The only reason, again, like we mentioned, the White Sox had 8 runs because that throwing error by Kim's in the 4th. Other than that, they really could not get to Lobstein at all, and it showed in the stat sheet. So very good job for him in getting it as close as he could, going as long as he could, rather, without having to go into that cluster is the Tigers bullpen. And as for Osmond getting Soria as early as he did, I understand, because in correlation with what happened last night with the debacle that was with Chamberlain, it seemed like if he wasn't going to depend on trust anyone else on that bullpen after the job that Lobstein had done, he felt he had no choice but to go to Soria, and I get that. But I don't want Austin to get into a happy habit of saying, well, you know what, it's we got 4 outs left, 5 outs left, let's get Soria out anyway. No, he's strictly there to close out the 9th. If you're having problems with getting out of the 8th or need more dependable guys who can work the 8th in for you, well, that's something, quite frankly, Austin, he's going to have to take it up with his general manager and say, hey, look, Dave, all right, this is the hand that you dealt me, and so far it's been crappy. We saw what happened with Chamberlain. Most of these guys, outside of a couple names and other than Soria, have been complete puke-inducing. And hey, guess what, man? I'm going to need some help. If we're going to be a contending team, forget about trying to see if we can make a deep playoff run in October. If we can be trying to be a contending team just for this division alone, we're going to need a more stable bullpen, because we got a closer situation set up, taken care of. We got at least 1 or 2 guys that are not terrible, or at least adequate. But everything else is just an absolute crapshoot. So Dombrowski, he's going to have to find some way, either make a deal at the deadline or whatever, or possibly bring up a guy from the minor leagues that seems ready enough and good enough to help us with this bullpen issue and just fix us with our relief pitching. Because, again, it's proven to be a thorn in our side, as it has been for years now.
That's true. The Tigers could have at least taken 2 out of 3. Maybe they could have swept the White Sox series if it hadn't been for Shane Greene's mess of a performance Tuesday night, or Chamberlain's mess of a performance in the bottom of the 8th, or even Brad Ausmus's option.
At least 2 out of 3, because last night should not have happened the way it did. Yes, Chamberlain was terrible. There's no arguing that. But Ausmus deserves a heavy blame of that, too, because she could have taken him out after that home run when the game was tied back up, and tried to see if he could extend the game as much as possible, instead of essentially deciding it right there in the 8th by leaving Chamberlain in. That's what cost us the game. So at the very least, Tigers should have taken 2 out of 3. But we're past it now. I'm just going to overlook or forget it, because if it keeps rearing its ugly head like it has been, it keeps costing us meaningful games down the stretch, say in June, July, or August, or dare I say even September. That's not going to look pretty. Our fans are definitely going to be peeved about that if we miss out on a playoff spot, God forbid.
And the White Sox were in last place going into that series, and the Tigers and Royals were in a battle for first place in the American League Central Division. The Tigers were up by a half game. Now they're down a half game when they should have been up by a game and a half. It all adds up.
Unbelievable.
Royals beat the Indians today 7-4.
Yeah, well, it's going to balance itself out in a couple of days. It was very soon anyway, because these 2 teams again starting tomorrow, I presume, correct?
Yep, that is at Comerica Park, and tomorrow's contest is at 7:08. Giordano Ventura will take on David Price. Price is 3-1 with a 2.93 ERA. Giordano Ventura with a 2-2 record and a 4.94 ERA.
Looking at the pitching matches alone, and looking at the pitching matches and the ERA matches alone, you would expect the Tigers to take that one, especially since it's the first game of a 6-game homestand, and you got your ace on the mound. And it's against an opponent who you're trying to compete for the division lead. You should have the momentum of the crowd behind you. I would expect the Tigers to take that one.
Yep, there is a preview article from Jeffrey Flanagan of MLB.com. Royals right-hander Giordano Ventura makes his first start since serving his 7-game suspension for an altercation with the White Sox on April 23rd. Left-hander David Price takes the mound for Detroit at Comerica Park. Price was brilliant against the Royals last Saturday, throwing a complete Game 5 hitter and a 2-1 win. 3 things we need to know about this game. Number 1, Ventura is 2-0 against the Tigers in his career, winning 1 game as a starter, 7 innings, 3 runs at Comerica Park, and winning 1 game in relief at Kauffman Stadium. Opponents are batting just .143 this season against Ventura overall. Not just the Tigers, but all opponents that the Royals have faced, that Giordano Ventura has faced this season against the first time through the order. Number 2, Tigers shortstop Jose Iglesias is questionable for Friday after re-aggravating his groin tightness injury while running the bases in Wednesday night's loss to the White Sox. I'm not saying the Tigers should put him on the 15-day disabled list. I'd say 7-day disabled list, just to make sure Iglesias is 100%.
Just rest him a couple of days, right? Because groin issues, like groin injuries, are not, they can be something that you don't want to play around with. Because it deals with your core muscle, right around the core muscle area, and you need it in terms of not just running, but movement, as well as when you're swinging the bat, trying to stretch to make a dive with the glove or anything. So that's something that you should take great care of. Give Iglesias as much rest as he needs, because I would hate to see him lose extended time over this, because, right, having his glove on that field is a very valuable commodity.
Manager Brad Ausmus said Thursday, continuing on, he expected Iglesias to miss a couple games. You got your wish there, Ed. Hernan Perez or Andrew Romine, neither of whom have faced Ventura before, would get the start in Iglesias' place. And number 3, the Royals are hoping to get shortstop Alcides Escobar back for the Tigers series. Escobar was eligible to come off the 7-day disabled list on Thursday. The Royals are also expecting catcher Drew Butera, just acquired in a trade with the Angels, as I got on Twitter from MLB roster moves on Twitter, to meet them in Detroit. So Drew Butera, coming from the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, to pair up, to platoon with Salvador Perez behind the plate. That's a pretty lethal combination of catchers the Royals have now.
I guess they feel they can never have enough catchers.
Maybe not. Maybe they could send their other backup catcher down to the minors.
And always have a chance to bring him back up later in the year, like a September call or something like that. If this deal goes in their fortune the way they expect it to.
Saturday's game begins at 1:08 on Fox Sports 1. Anibal Sanchez takes on Jeremy Guthrie. Sanchez 2 for 3 coming off a win. Jeremy Guthrie 1-2 with a 6.52 ERA. And then Sunday's game
That's one
on ESPN at 8:05.
Go out the way. That one on Saturday could go out the way because you just batted off Guthrie's numbers and with his stats. Sanchez, though, it's very, as his record indicates, he can be good one great start, bad next. You hope, especially in front of the home crowd, you would see a more pumped up and focused Sanchez to help get you to a needed win in this series. In this series for first place.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then Jose Vargas will take on a pitcher to be determined, says MLB.com. I would think Shane Greene already pitched. Then Alfredo Simon, Price, Sanchez.
Sunday.
Lobstein, Price, and Sanchez. Then I would say Shane Greene would start against Jose Vargas. Shane Greene has got to pick it up. He's usually a good pitcher, but he's in a terrible slump.
Yeah, very bad slump. You hope he shakes his way out of it because we know what he's hopefully seeing, what he's capable of, and he hasn't reached his peak. What he did at the couple of starts at the beginning of the year, he's faltered off very sharp, very downwardly. Had quite a few bad starts recently. Obviously it's going to point to those saying another example why the Doug Fister trade was bad. Obviously, you would hope that Greene brings some worth of his value, right? He's giving these starts. According starts, one hit shutouts or anything like that. Just good, average, middle of the road starts. Give up to maybe 3 runs over a 7-inning stretch and keep his in throughout. That sort of thing. Don't get bombed within the first 3 innings like you did last time out.
Yeah, very solid first inning would set the tone. For Shane Greene would set the tone. Greene has a 5.56 ERA thus far after giving up 5 earned runs on 5 hits, 4 walks, and 2 2/3 innings in Chicago earlier this week. So the Tigers will try to get back in the lead in the American League Central Division by taking at least 2 out of 3 from the Royals. 7:08 tomorrow night on Fox Sports Detroit. Probably Rod Allen's going to Mr. Bojangles Allen will return to the booth and join Mario Mpemba, Super Mario Mpemba. Yeah.
Super Mario and Bojangles.
Yeah. Then.
I would always get a kick out of some nicknames.
Yeah. Then at 1:08 on Fox Sports 1, and then Sunday on Saturday, and then Sunday at 8:05 on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball with Dan Shulman.
All right, Dan Shulman, one of my favorite voices in the broadcasting biz.
Yep, one of my favorites as well. He goes up along with Joe Buck and Mike Emmerich and Al Michaels and Mike Breen too.
I know a lot of people. I know probably quite a few people have grown at your mention of Joe Buck. I understand some of the hate he gets. I felt in recent years a little bit too much, especially when he was dealing with his throat issues. But I think when it calls for it, he can deliver a good call. Like, he knows, like, he has the right range for it. He's not a total bore all the time. I think Buck can deliver a few good calls if the situation in the moment calls for it. Agree with your opinion on Emmerich, though. Love Doc.
Yeah. Oh, Joe Buck hates the Tigers. Yeah. Give us a break. Joe Buck praises Miguel Cabrera, for example. Mike Emmerich and Eddie Olchuk praise Pavel Datsyuk. Al Michaels Al Michaels likes Matthew Stafford. Al Michaels likes Matthew Stafford. and so on. All right. All right. This next topic I will take on my own, like you said, in messages on Facebook. So,
Yeah, this has been a bit of a, I guess I would call it a passion mystery for you. So the floor is as you granted me with my takes on Mayweather and Pacquiao over the last week. The floor is all yours now, Taylor.
thank you. I will now go to the topic of the Fox Sports girls disappearing from television and social media. I found a friend of mine, Stephen Tucker, on Facebook, messaged me an article from citypages.com under the blogs section, and he found a media blog headlining "FSN pulls the plug on the Fox Sports North girls, ending meaningless eye candy concept." Here's how the whole thing reads. By now, Minnesota sports fans are well acquainted with the cute, young, perpetually smiling mugs of the Fox Sports North girls. They were the babes welcoming viewers back from commercial break. "You are now watching Fox Sports North," they said, striking a pose for caveman viewers who lust for a little sex appeal in between the beer commercials and slow motion replays. Other than those ubiquitous plugs, however you pronounce it, we're not quite sure what other purpose they served. They hosted viewing parties at sports bars, took a lot of photos with fans, and question mark. Yesterday, FSN confirmed it has pulled the plug on the Fox Sports North girls. Though the channel declined to comment on the matter, it did offer a series of empty corporate buzzwords designed to suffice as an explanation. "Quote unquote, Fox Sports is constantly evaluating our marketing programs in an effort to keep them fresh and provide the most engaging experience for our viewers. As a result, we have decided to end the Fox Sports Girls program to focus on other projects that serve our fans." What other projects are you talking about? You dumb idiots. It just want to end the male-dominated pressure, the male-dominated pleasure of sports and hot babes combined together. I mean, that like takes away Hooters from existence. Continuing on, left unmentioned was the concept was insulting to women, reaffirming the Mad Men era patriarchy that still dominates sports media. Men still hold the vast majority of the reporting, writing, and analysis jobs in the industry. The Fox Sports North girls job allowed young women a chance to get some high-profile experience if they were hot enough. And please just read what's on the keywords, would you, honey? FSN does employ Marty Gellner and Jamie Hirsch, two female on-camera personalities who are allowed to use their brains. Hopefully the resources saved in killing the Fox Sports North girls go toward creating more opportunities for talent like that. So FSN declined to comment to any other media source, and to any of us fans, and just after 5 years, just flat out canceled the concept of the Fox Sports Girls, which are still pleasing to us, just pleasing us without without even mentioning a word before you even did such a thing. You lying, hiding hypocrites. We are severely slamming you for this. While some men may not necessarily be interested in it, other men are like, well, I don't want to make any females in the world suffer any verbal abuse. I'm not going to bother with it. I can't even bother. Because to prove to the abusive, the very verbally abusive men towards women that I'm more of a gentleman towards women, I will not even try to mimic what the abusive men towards women, the abusive men say towards or about the hot women. And I will just say this: it's okay to not like them, but don't hate on them. But more importantly, this Fox Sports Girls concept shouldn't bother men too much at all. If men don't like it, they can just turn away. But the Fox Sports Girls concept, the whole thing was a huge following, especially in Michigan. The Fox Sports Detroit Girls, when Lauren and Allison were first introduced in 2010, and men were like, "Whoa, man, those are hot women with hot bodies," and they support the Detroit teams. And there's nothing wrong with that. I found zero things wrong with that. Man, I finally met them, both of them. I finally met Allison last year. I have met all 6 full-time Fox Sports Detroit girls. First, Brittany and Stephanie. I was about to meet Lauren and Allison in December 21st in Grand Rapids, but I was forced to stay at home due to a snowstorm. And then I met Lauren in 2013 at a Tiger game, due to best day as a Fox Sports Detroit girl. And then I met Allison last year at the Saginaw Ultimate Tailgate Party with Lauren and Angela, when Lauren and Allison returned for 1 month in September Strong on Fox Sports Detroit. And then earlier this year, I met Angela and Emily. And then just recently, right after the Red Wings were eliminated by the Lightning in 7 games in the Atlantic Division semifinals, the Fox Sports Detroit girls stopped posting on social media, and they were gone. And then they were gone from social media all of a sudden. Then I found the Fox Sports Florida girls were gone from Facebook. And I was wondering, is the whole Fox Sports Girls concept canceled for good? That can't happen. You take away just something that doesn't have to be important, doesn't necessarily need to be important. It's still fun and interesting and sex appealing to most men who love sports, who love girls, who love hot girls. 60 seconds. I know you're not a fan of this, but I still think the majority rules, and I think it's a huge following. I think it was a huge following confiscated by the arrogant media of Fox Sports, which is now more boring now without the Fox Sports Girls. In my opinion.
I didn't particularly care for the girls myself, but I understood the demographic that they were catering to and the niche that they brought in. And they, like you mentioned, they had a good following, so it definitely caught me off guard a little bit to find out
20 seconds.
This breaking down. I was like, wow, really? because I figured it was a movie at least a little bit successful, and I guess helping draw more viewers or whatever.
10 seconds here.
We've been having good following, but hey.
10 seconds.
Bring them back now. That does it for Taylor's Detroit Sports Show. TTFN, ta-ta for now.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.